I wanted to get inside of the mind of Jake Paul. Okay, I did that today. And yeah, a lot of it happened off camera because I don't know if it's, number one, my place to even like talk about that stuff with him.
All the content I've been reading about sociopaths just to better understand it, to make sure that I'm not missing something and not neglecting the symptoms or anything like that. And there was none of that.
The human brain is programmed to rubberneck when we see something as dangerous as a car accident. And that's why when a train wreck occurs right before our very eyes, we simply cannot turn away. But it's not just those big catastrophic mental breakdowns that keep our eyes glued to the screens, no. Mental health and mental illness has become quite the hot topic across the entire platform. Even people who just act out of character may not be mentally ill at all. They could just be different. They draw attention. But why? Well, it's because it's something simply we can't understand. The vast majority doesn't understand.
Hey everybody, if you haven't heard, I wrote a book and it is called Are You Okay? And it is your guide to mental health help. It essentially tells you how to know when you need help and how to get that help.
This guy is pretty fucking weird. Like, he's pretty fucking weird. There's something clearly wrong with him, and if you can't quite put your finger on it, consider where his fingers have been, because apparently they've been inside children.
Catch me outside, how about that? Catch me outside, how about that?
I'm a fucking champion. No. You're beta as fuck. I'm an alpha. I'm a lion.
That's a yikes from me on that one.
The point that most people seem to be missing here is that Shane really never made this series to diagnose anybody. It's about entertainment. It's always been about entertainment. If you don't believe me, here's a video of him being overdramatic when he's talking about sociopaths.
In my 10 years of YouTube, I've met a lot of YouTubers. I've definitely met a few where I've got that gut feeling.
We're talking about like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've met a few that fit this, but I don't get that gut feeling. Are those people probably
Better manipulators, or they know enough about you?
I literally, my heart.
It's really gross, I know.
Okay, so you might be thinking, that seemed a little overdramatic for talking about mental health, or maybe he's gone a little overboard talking about mental health. But as you look at Shane's content, it's really not out of character for him. I mean, if you watch his old videos, here's a video about him talking about an iPhone conspiracy. It has the same horror vibe, the same horror element.
What you are about to watch may make you question everything you thought you knew.
We have been talking about Apple purposely slowing down our phones every time they have a new one coming out forever. And then recently we learned that it's true.
Now, if you're offended by episode 2 or any of the subsequent episodes that have come out since, because I am kind of late on this one, I have to ask why. Because it seems to me like a lot of people read too far into this. I saw reviews saying this was basically to catch a predator for sociopaths, which, I mean, I don't know how you draw a line to that conclusion. And people saying, oh, he's being insensitive. I mean, Dr. Phil's been making a living off this stuff for years. And I get it, he's not a YouTuber. But I mean, I don't really think we should hold him to different standards. And mental health comes in a lot of forms, because it's not just Shane Dawson. Recently we had FouseyTube, who I'm not sure he has like a diagnosis that's out right now 100%, but he gave the indication that he was losing his mind a few weeks ago, and everybody watched like that train wreck analogy from the beginning of the video.
That year that I gave up, I would DM Banks at random, and he's at the top running shit in LA, and he would still DM me back.
Ooh, that's love.
I asked him if I could join Clout Gang in his DMs when I was sitting on my couch smoking weed, playing Fortnite, giving up on life.
And this is where problems start to arise. Because by all means, FouseyTube found himself in what I would call an unreliable narrator state. That means he was unstable, and a lot of people were taking his advice, they were taking him at face value, and that's very important because that's not what you get from Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson, who's composed, level-headed. FouseyTube doesn't have that. And whether FouseyTube was being legitimate or not, talking about manic depression and other extremely tough subjects, it's just as easy to call him a manipulator, maybe not even purposefully. No matter what you want to call it, at the end of the day, these are not the kind of people that you want to be taking your mental health advice from. YouTube audiences are extremely impressionable, especially the younger ones, and that's how the term mob mentality was coined.
Y'all calling me crazy anyway, why don't you watch this crazy person who you hating on ever so dearly instead of providing yourselves with love that you didn't in your life to be able to fulfill your dreams? While you hating on July 15th, I'm setting up Staples Center.
Now, Shane Dawson and FouseyTube are basically polar opposites. They're very different in a lot of ways. But you could make this statement that whether Shane's good and Fousey's bad, or if you want to see it the other way around, at the end of the day, you don't want to be taking fucking therapeutic advice from either of them. Because that's not what they are. They're entertainers. And in a space where a single man's opinion can send an entire hate train to another YouTuber, now more than ever, you should be taking your mental health advice to actual paid professionals. And if you're still not convinced what I'm saying is true, let's ask YouTube, the platform as a whole. I mean, look at this tweet. This tweet came on National Mental Health Day from YouTube, showing creators they thought that they could put in a playlist that would be beneficial for people. Maybe going through a tough time, or maybe people wanted to be educated on the holiday. Which is funny because, well, this video was one of the featured creators. So if the people who run the platform are this careless, I know I've said it like 8 fucking times already, and this is going to be one of the last times I say it. If you have a problem with mental health, seek professionals, but not these ones.
I want to talk about this BetterHelp situation, which is probably going to include a bit of an apology.
It's been all over Reddit. My own subreddit, I always see these ads. Try online therapy. Try online therapy and you too can grow a magnificent beard just like this guy. Well, what is BetterHelp? Well, it's been marketed as cheap, affordable, and private online therapy.
BetterHelp helped me quite a bit when I used their service. Now, that doesn't change the fact that their terms of service is very, very strict.
Because the sponsor of the videos, BetterHelp, which has been exposed as a scam by Memeology 101, who has a 9-part series that you should definitely check out. I'll link it in the...
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Andy Warski's a punchline, not a source. Now I know you've probably had this topic beaten into your skull to death in the past week, but if you don't know what BetterHelp is, it's a service that's been exposed by various YouTubers. Some are calling it a scam, others are just saying it's a bad business move. But the business itself attempts to provide therapy online as its service, and it boasts how BetterHelp provides a value that is much better and a bang for your buck than traditional therapeutical services.
So that's why I'm excited to once again say that today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp.
Now, the controversies really stem from the horrible terms of service, because with BetterHelp, you're either going to have a great time or you're going to have a complete fucking nightmare. And it's because of that shady terms of service that this is actually a thing. It basically says that the user, him or herself, is responsible for determining whether their therapist they get from BetterHelp is even who they say they are or has the criteria to hear your stories in the first place. I mean, apparently there's no form of confidentiality either, which, I mean, it sounds to me like they don't have a team of lawyers present. The same reason you can't make death threats to a fucking school counselor. And it's also related that you apparently can't use the service if you're suicidal, even if you've previously used a therapist and come to know them. Which, I mean, it kind of sucks, but from legal standpoints, I understand why they don't want to deal with that. So between the evidence and the title of the video and the way you could probably tell I'm leaning here, you would think that BetterHelp is going to tie nicely in a bow with mental health and I can just reel it back in. We're almost done here. Well, unfortunately, I mean, you think the people would be talking about this stuff, and I guess some of them are, but they're not focusing on the mental health aspect. Actually, they're not really giving BetterHelp as much shit as they probably deserve. They're actually talking about a person.
Sup, you beautiful bastards. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. If you are here for your regularly scheduled Philip DeFranco show, I apologize so much. Unfortunately, I've been on the receiving end of just ridiculous accusation after ridiculous accusation regarding BetterHelp. People saying I'm this mastermind scammer who's running a Ponzi scheme. I just need to address this bullshit before moving forward. I usually do not stop for every barking dog, but this has gotten to a situation that is just ridiculous.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the most recent Philip DeFranco witch hunt is now back in full swing, and people still have that sour taste in their mouth from when his Patreon disaster took over YouTube a couple months back. And honestly, they will go to any length to continue to try to knock this man down a peg, even when it's really not justified. And for any other creator, and literally for any other creator, promoting better health and sharing them with other people on the platform would not be a major issue. It'd be a slap that dust off the knee, get right back out there, buddy. But for Phil DeFranco...
Take heat, fuck these niggas.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news.
Some people are saying that he's responsible for BetterHelp because he simply promoted them and recommended the service. And that's like saying if Dollar Shave Club shipped a bomb instead of a fucking package of razors to their customers, that Jack's Films should be prosecuted. Honestly, creators only use these ads because monetization's been such shit. I mean, monetization across the entire site's down. This used to be taboo to have a paid promotion in the beginning of your fucking video. And if YouTubers could get paid correctly by the platform that they're on, many of these people wouldn't even have to be tasked with finding a paid promotion in the first place. When creators are attempting to, not have a 67-cent month, they're gonna have to find advertising. And guess what, YouTube? Some of them are gonna suck. Okay? Nobody expected CBD to be an issue a few months ago, but suddenly, bang, 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 all the channels start going down. But it couldn't stop there, right? Because that's not enough information to take down Philip DeFranco. We had to stoop even lower.
So, I figured, him cheating on his wife would be pretty funny right now. Do you actually have sex with him?
Of course I did.
Wow. Is that breaking news on the Kill Stream? Has that audio ever been heard before?
Her answer? Of course she did.
So apparently, Phil DeFranco cheated on his wife, therefore, he must be profiting off the mentally ill. If that's not bulletproof logic, I don't know what is. And everybody feels like they need to pile on right now because it's the trend. And that's what this YouTube game is. It's push a guy down and 16 people run up and kick him until his face is in the fucking mud. And honestly, Philip DeFranco, he fucked up. But you guys aren't attacking him for the right reasons. You want shady, you want exposed. Look at this. This is exposed.
And so it just seemed like a no-brainer that we would take this win on all fronts, connect those people, we'd handle everything for them, and then like an agency does, we take a small percentage for the connection and the upkeep. And this part dives even deeper into our long-term business model. It's been a side goal of mine to have an in-house sales team, have essentially a small agency. I mean, everything we do is crowd-funded through DeFranco Elite, Franco Elite.
But I guess Philip DeFranco using all the Patreon money to start an advertising agency isn't the juicy title that this guy needs. And honestly, I mean, I know this shit's completely glossed over and it might come up in the next couple days when they get bored, but it's really in favor of some asshole's agenda. And then we got creators like that hack Memeology 101, who apparently needs to outsource his own commentary because he's too fucking stupid to functionally provide his own words for his own fucking videos. He's recently become known for exposing Phil DeFranco for his relationship with BetterHelp, and they are all insinuating that the money that Phil DeFranco is making from BetterHelp is abusing depression for a profit. And, well, if that's damning, then what the fuck do you call this shit, Memeology? Huh? What do you call it? Because if we ignore just the Philip DeFranco videos, he still has literally 11 videos posted on depression, a brand new series, in 2 weeks. That means out of the last 14 days, you've shit out 11 fucking videos on depression. Oh look, they all have fucking ads playing on them. There's nothing inherently wrong with doing this, but I mean, at the surface level, it makes you a fucking hypocrite. I mean, the witch hunt for Phil DeFranco is fucking ridiculous. Even this asshole gets it.
The accusations against Phil are largely incorrect, and there's a decent-sized group of people who are simply concern trolling.
And that's where I'd like to leave this video off. I'd just like to say, at the end of the day, guys, these people are YouTubers. They're just YouTubers. They're talented, but YouTubers nonetheless. And there will always be a goal for views. There will always be a goal to make money. Views dictate success. Money dictates success. And this is an entertainment business. Take everything on YouTube with a grain of salt. And when somebody tells you something in a video, think for yourself.
Wow.